Well, you know what? I'll show you guys. This is what they do. Pretend this is an animal. Okay, well, it's not an animal, but pretend it's a deer drinking water on the water. All right, so this is what they do. They get really quiet, and they're in the water, and they just have their nostrils and their eyes above the water, and the rest is underwater so they can blend in. So they get really quiet, and then they slowly creep up to it, and they get really quiet, and they're still very, very quiet. I wish kids were sometimes this quiet, just kidding. And they're very quiet. And then when they get close enough, they whip out of the water with like 20 miles an hour with their powerful tail, and they grab the prey, and they throw it down. But then you guys know what they do next, because they can't chew their food. What do they do next? Yes. What do they do next? What's it called? Death roll. Very good. You got a donut like pound. Excellent. They do a death roll next to tear off pieces of their food. Now, do you guys know what a death roll looks like? Mm-hmm. No? Do you guys want to see a death roll? Well, unfortunately, Allie is a little small, and we don't have her trained to do the death roll yet. But for these purposes, we'll pretend that I'm a full-size gator, so let's start over. Okay, so there's the prey. He gets really quiet. He's really quiet because he's got to get the prey. He approaches. Cell phones and pagers off. So then he approaches, and he whips out of the water, he grabs his prey, he throws it on the ground, and then he grabs it, and he rolls with his prey, and he's rolling, and he tears a chunk off, and he eats it, and he swallows that chunk whole, and they just lap it up all the way down. And that's how they tear apart pieces of their prey, because they can't chew food like us, so they need to do that, and then rip it out. Now, oh, thank you. Thank you. I actually practice that form when I go home. I'm like, honey, I'm going to do a death roll tonight. Anyway, so with all that biting power and hunting style, they need a lot of teeth. How many teeth you guys think alligators have? How many teeth you think? You can't count them now. You're supposed to know. You can't cheat. How many teeth do you think they have? I wish I watched as much Discovery Channel as you guys when I was growing up, because this is amazing. Jungle Mike Pound, young lady, what is your name? Madison, you are absolutely correct. They have 80 teeth, but when they're born, they have 81 teeth. So what happened to that 81st tooth after they're born? What do they do? What happens to that 81st tooth? They what? Sorry, I can't. Oh! Excellent. You get a Jungle White Pound? I'm sorry. It's a long day. It's okay. They actually shed their last tooth. This young man was absolutely correct. When they're born, they have that 81st tooth right on the tip of their nose, and they break open the shell like this, and then they get out, and then they call for their mom, and it's like, and the mom hears that in the water, and that's like, Mom, I'm out of the egg, can you come help me? And they come up to the water, and the nest, and they unbury the eggs, and they pick the babies up in their powerful jaws, and they're like, baby, baby, we're going to go down to the nursery, little baby. And they put it in the little lagoon nursery for a few months, until they get big, and then they set off on their own. Now, does anyone have any questions about my friend Allie? You can't take one home. Allie was actually donated to the zoo because someone found them in their backyard. And that wants me to tell you guys another important message. When you see animals in the wild, it's best to just leave them there because, one, they do play very important roles in our environment. And a lot of times if you approach an animal like that, they're more scared of you than you are of them. And when they get cornered, they can attack and bite you. And that can oftentimes get very serious. So it's important to just leave the animals where they are because they do play very important jobs. Like we all have very important jobs to help our community run nice and smoothly. Now, I would like everyone to give Allie the gator. Thank you very much. Thank you, Monica. Thank you very much. No, Allie is not from the Far East. He is from the Bayou, but I'm trying to get him more exposed to other culture. There's stuff falling all over here. But our next friend is possibly the cutest thing you have ever seen. You may recognize it. It is in our pet stores. It is in our homes. It is in our hearts. And this pet is a formidable... Oh my God, it's a little baby ferret. It's a little ferret, a little face. Look at your little face. Hi, it's a good... Sorry, I got caught up in the moment. It happens. Anyway, so this is my friend Stumpy, the domesticated ferret. Now I say domesticated ferret because ferrets have actually been domesticated for actually near 1,000 years. All the way back to when Christopher Columbus sailed across the ocean blue back in 1493. I mean, that's not how the rhyme works. In 1493, Columbus sailed on 3 boats. No. 1492, when he sailed the ocean blue. I don't know if you guys have learned that in geography yet. But anyway, so Christopher Columbus brought them over here because they actually come from weasels that live in Europe called the European polecat. And they were brought over here, and they're actually raised as pets and also brought on the ships to keep the mice population down and to keep the rats from eating all their food. Now, there actually is one wild species of ferret that is actually native to the United States, and that's the black-footed ferret that lives in the western United States, all in the plains with the prairie dogs. Now, black-footed ferrets were thought to be completely extinct in the wild until one day a rancher went out to his farm, and he looks, and this black-footed ferret pops out of the wall and is like, "Hey, I found one! We got him! I thought they were all gone, but I got one!" Oh, so what they did was they took those last 17 ferrets and they started a breeding program and releasing them into the wild. Now there's about a population of 300 domesticated black-footed ferrets roaming around the plains of the United States. Now, Monica, can you do me a favor? Can you hold up Stumpy and just twist and turn him every which way? You know what I'm talking about, Wandy. Yes, twist and turn him and bend him. How do you think Stumpy is able to be so bendable? Has no spine? Anyone else think of anything? Well, how do you think Stumpy is able to do that? Unfortunately, he does have a spine. Yes. All vertebrates has... I know. What it is, we can't bend that way. Well, I can bend a little bit. I've been doing yoga for like a month, but almost there. But anyway, he can bend that way because between all his little backbones, he has a ton of cartilage. And that's that jelly stuff, guys, that's in between your elbows that lets us bend, and in between your knees and your wrists. And they have a ton of cartilage in between each spine, and that enables them to bend every which way. Now, they have to bend every which way because of what they eat. They love to eat groundhogs and prairie dogs. And in those little dark tunnels, they gotta be running all over the place. And if they can't find prairie dog and they get to a dead end, how are they gonna get out? What they do, they just bend backwards, and then they just turn around and go the other way. It's no big deal for them, and they love it. Now, I did say they are cuddly and they are cute, but if you notice, they do have pretty sharp teeth. They're not very aggressive, but they are able to defend themselves in the wild because a lot of times coyotes will try to eat them, and what they do is, okay, so say this is a coyote. Yes, it's taller than your average coyote, but this is what they do. So the coyote comes up like, ooh, ferret, let me eat that. So it starts going after the ferret, but the ferret's like, not today. And the ferret, because it's so pliable, will be running all up the spine, and it'll be running all over the coyote and nipping at his ears, and he's just bending all over the coyote. He's like, and he's like, this is too much for me. And he'll just let it go. So they are able to defend themselves pretty darn well. Now, does anyone have any questions about my friend Stumpy the ferret?